How's it going, everybody? Hopefully, you're having a good day. I am back with another classic on the channel. And I think that this week I know exactly what I want to talk about because a lot has happened in a week. I mean, it is a pretty substantial period of time, but still, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. Um, I think the focus I want to talk about this week is a quote from from a certain individual that I had the pleasure of speaking with, um, Mr. Giancarlo Esposito. Uh, Everyone pronounces his name wrong because they're all chuds. The actor who played Gustavo Fring in Breaking Bad, for instance. He's in The Boys. He's in Mandalorian. You know him. Everyone knows what this guy, and he's an incredible actor. I had the pleasure of speaking to him one on one for about 30 minutes at some point, and it was very insightful. I think it was genuinely one of the most thought provoking conversations of my life, and it was a pivotal moment. I mean, unsurprisingly, I think that it would be for many. But he said something that really resonates with me. And whenever someone asks me, like, Jalal, do you have any real like good quotes or anything, right? That you live by. This is definitely, I wouldn't say it takes the cake, but I would say it is definitely up there. And it is, don't wait to be great because you already are. I think I appended that end of it. I think the actual thing he said was just don't wait to be great. But I think that the second part is more implied. I honestly don't remember. It's been like a month plus. But I guess the premise is just act on your, like, trust yourself, you know. I think we really like to second guess ourselves when it comes to what we do. And as I discussed in my main channel video, I talk about uncertainty, which is like, it's easy to just not like run your own life. It's easy to just listen to other people and do what they tell you to, or constantly ask people for advice instead of deciding for yourself, because I mean it makes sense, right? It's cleaner. You don't have to worry about the liability. I would say it's more mentally, but it's just the fact like you are not accountable, because you can just say, oh well, this person gave me bad advice, and I fucked up, but it's not my fault. It's that they gave me bad advice or whatever. Yeah, it's just like if you forever live this life of uncertainty, or rather, I guess, running away from uncertainty, you'll find it's very unrewarding. It's very empty, because you kind of lose an identity. Your identity is just the people you surround yourself with, which it always will be. But I guess the point is that you yourself are too afraid to do anything. And I think that matches with just the general message of the quote. You yourself are too afraid to act, to commit on something. And so what you end up doing instead is just not doing anything. I have a friend of mine who I know he watches these videos, and I've spoken about him in the past. So hi, you know who you are. Who does kind of have issues with commitment. And it's good that recently we had a nice talk, and he openly acknowledged, like, oh yeah, well, I like to say that it's because of laziness, but there's a lot more to it. And yeah, there very frequently will there be more to it than just someone being lazy. If you are lazy, it's probably more deep-seated than that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find spiders right now. I need string. Well, that's two Endermen. Holy moly. And he recently got to the point where he kind of... Oh, hi, you're exactly what I need. Perfect. He recently got to the point where he kind of opened up and acknowledged, like, okay, there's more to it. And obviously, I'm not going to get into the personal details of this person because, well, it's not my place to say. But it's reached the point kind of where he's openly acknowledged, hey, I'm not getting stuff done. Um, and I'm not fooling anyone. And I think that it was honestly, at least I would say, I mean, I'm not him, so I don't know, but I think it was probably it was kind of a relief to say it. You know, it's like we carry this weight on our shoulders a lot of like things where it's like, maybe it's denial or maybe it's just something else. But the fact that you can openly acknowledge this isn't working, I'm not getting this stuff done or whatever, and moving on from that, um, I think it's healthy. I think it's really healthy, even though society will try to tell you otherwise. And this kind of ties back to my previous video where I was like, oh, sometimes you got to know when to let go, when to quit. By the way, that video is doing good. That video is actually doing well. I think it's one of the best performing videos on my channel, which I find very surprising. But hey, so if you are from that video, hello, or if you're new time here, I guess, hi. But yeah, I think the second part of that, which is also something that is a very powerful takeaway, is that just because something isn't working out doesn't mean it's because of you, and it's not because you shouldn't have to abandon it forever. There's this good quote. Fuck, I'm not even sure. It might have been genuinely from Spider-Man. Um, it was from. Oh no, it was from a fucking Instagram reel I saw. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Spider-Man movies because I've been catching up on all the Marvel stuff because I like don't watch movies generally, so I'm trying to. But it was something along the lines of men die when they're 20. Men die in their 20s, but are buried in their 70s, and it basically is just the premise of a lot of people tend to abandon their dreams at that age, and then they just kind of live on the rest of their life meaninglessly, like a zombie. You're a drone. Um, and I think that I mean, obviously, I haven't reached that point. I'm still a young little lad, but I think that there is it's a very powerful message. It's there's a lot to take away from that, and I think that if you are, even if you're younger, even if you're not in your 20s or whatever, you shouldn't give up your dreams. Sometimes it's healthy to put things on hold or swap priorities, of course. Yeah, I think a lot of people really like to pretend to be noble in practicing self-destructive things. There's always those people who put themselves on a high horse because they aren't monetizing their content on YouTube, for example. Um, or they're just like, oh, well, I'm actively shooting myself in the foot, so now I am better than you. When that isn't necessarily true. I don't think there's really anything noble for not making money off of YouTube, for example. The people who do that are probably dumb, because if you are making it, well, YouTube is just going to yoink all of it, It's not going to reduce the amount of ads in your video. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that sometimes you do need to understand that you have to rearrange your priorities. And that's happened to me as well. I mean, this channel was an example, as I discussed. I was focusing on other things. I had a lot going on, and I was just like, yeah, as much as consistency is rewarded on YouTube, which I ignore so much, I feel like I needed to put this project on pause, and finish this and finish that. And so I think it's something that everyone should do. I think it's healthy. So this friend, he had constantly been suffering from, like, I don't know if it's necessarily writer's block or just artist block or some equivalent of it. But he would start up a project and he would kind of abandon it halfway through or something, or maybe even sooner, because just, oh, it wasn't working out. Oh, this isn't exactly what I was envisioning, or when I looked at it later. It's the equivalent of, if you've ever made music, if you sit down in like FL Studio at like 11 p.m. and you make your little beat, and you wake up in the morning and you listen to it and you realize it's actually the worst fucking thing on the planet. Like, it's even XQC can't do this bad. It's kind of that equivalent of a feeling, and I can relate to that sometimes. Sometimes I sit down stuff and I think like, oh, this is so tough. This is a good script, and I look at it the next day and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, what does this even mean? I'm repeating myself like 5 times here. And I think that the difference is that, with this person and maybe me, is that they didn't really see any way to make it work. They didn't really see any situation where it's solvable. And you know, sometimes it isn't. I remember they wanted to make a video about Ultra Kill, this FPS game, and like the new update. And the thing with that is that's a time sensitive video, and if you spend too much time making it, it won't be relevant anymore, blah blah blah. You know, that makes sense. But sometimes the content that this person decides to make is it's kind of evergreen. Like it's you know, it's like the equivalent of talking about something that isn't necessarily trendy, I guess is the best way to put it. And I think that, you know, they sat down and realized, okay, you know, this isn't going to work out, and it's probably because of something else. It's not because I'm a perfectionist. It's not because of even my environment or laziness, as I like to say. I think they realized like, oh, there's other things that I just need to be focusing on right now, and so they decided to put that project on hold. You know, take a break from YouTube, and I think that that's completely healthy. I mean, look at who came back recently, Tom Scott, right? Tom Scott, he went on a little hiatus in like start of 2024, and I think he recently came back. I'm not a big fan of him, to be entirely honest with you. I don't watch his content, but I do know I did see the video where he uploaded. You know, people were like, "Oh my god," and that's great. And I think that it's healthy to take breaks. I always say, pace yourself. And so I think, you know, oh, let's wrap it all the way back. Don't wait to be great. You already are. If you are in a position where you are second guessing yourself about anything, could be creative work or not, you're kind of sitting here looking at your whatever you made, don't scrap it. Don't give up on it. Sometimes you can shelf things. I had a video I wanted to make about Deep Rock Galactic. It's this video game. It's always a video game with me. Come on. You already know this. I wanted to make a video about Deep Rock Galactic. And how it's like a really good live service game, because like they have a battle pass, but you don't pay for it, stuff like that. It's actually a really good game. Like genuinely, I very frequently have a good time when I boot it up. But I wanted to make a video about it, and I sat down and I spent about half a month writing the script for this thing, fleshing it out, and it just didn't work out. I never ended up making that video. Now, does that mean I'll never make that video? No, that just means that in the current state, maybe I'm just not really feeling it. Maybe, you know, maybe it just wasn't the right time. Maybe the creative vision of what I had for that video wasn't fully fleshed out. You don't need an excuse, you know. It's very easy to come up with a reason not to. But I think the important thing I want to say is, if you sit down and you look at that writing, it's always salvageable. And, you know, if the reason you are putting away a project is not because of like some excuse in the sense of, oh well, you know, this, I'm just not really feeling it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And that's something I've said many times in the past, and I do firmly believe I subscribe to that ideology, because especially with something like YouTube, if you don't want to make the video, don't make the video. Because if you aren't enjoying the creative process, you're going to fucking hate yourself when it's done, and it's probably not even going to be as good as it would be if you did enjoy the creative process. That's just not, it's not the right way to do it. So I guess to my friend, and to anyone else who is listening, if you're in a tough place right now, creatively, in life or whatever, it's fine. There's no high power that's really pressuring you to do YouTube, to do art, to do whatever. And there are definitely some things where the necessities of life will come first. And that's completely okay. And it's important that when those times come, you choose the right thing. And that's yourself. You have to take care of yourself before you take care of your work. We see so many times in like stories where there's some person who their work consumes them. Fucking W.D. Gaster consumed by his creation, or whatever the hell. If you aren't sure where to take your content, where to take your work, where to take your interests next, that's okay. You can take a break, and when you come back, it'll still be there. Everyone will still be there. Your friends, your family. Pace yourself. Because if you don't pace yourself, you destroy yourself, and no one wants that. Sorry, this is a bit of a different video, and I wanted to speak my mind. I think that this is something that's just it's very important for me as well, because it is something that I go through as well. You know, I think it's not a very exclusive experience. But if you are ever second guessing yourself, your creative ability, ever, don't. Maybe you're not the best artist in the world. Maybe you're not the most creative person, and that's fine, because you will be. Not the most, but you'll be more. Every step along the way will get you further and further to your destination. But sometimes you gotta take that break. I think that's it for me today, guys. This is a little bit of a weirder one, I know. I'm just catching the feels, because this, you know, it's about someone I really care about. And as sad as I am to see them go, I mean, well, okay, they're not fucking dying, they're not getting deported, you know, or anything like that. They're still here. It's just, it's a new chapter of their life. And I want to be happy for them, and I am happy for them. But as sad as I am to see this person go, I want it to work out for them. And they're not alone in this. So remember, don't wait to be great. You already are.
Homer drops his donut, dough. Homer spills his soda, dough. Homer hits the doorway, dough. Homer ruins his whole day.